In the previous set of episodes, we spoke a bit about the impeccable character of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, in light of the principle given to us by Jesus Christ, peace and blessings be upon him, according to the Bible, that you will know a true prophet from a false prophet by token of their fruits. And so we wish to pivot now for the next few episodes to another blessed fruit harvested from the call and ministry of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. This next fruit is his positive impact on the world, how the world changed in unique and unparalleled ways when he enlightened them with his message and brought to them God's sacred law as a finality of revelation until the end of time. So it further proves the prophethood of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, to simply consider, what did this man accomplish? And were these achievements truly extraordinary or simply overrated and blown out of proportion by his admirers? The great 11th century Andalusian scholar Ibn Hazm, after illustrating how the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, transformed the world around him in historically matchless ways, he goes on to say, the biography of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, for whoever deeply considers it, is enough to necessitate that he must have been the Prophet of God. And he says that if the Prophet Muhammad had no other miracle that he performed, but his life story, the events of his life, how they unfolded, and what emanated from them, this alone would have been enough of a miracle. You see, his call was not just extraordinary in terms of its political reach on the world stage, but also in that it was demonstrably greater in influence on religiosity and on spirituality than that of any other founder of the major faiths, and on social well-being at large. So Jesus Christ, peace and blessings be upon him, was a tremendous spiritual figure, but he was never a statesman or a general. Alexander the Great and so many other iconic political leaders in the course of human history were not heralded for their moral contributions or their spiritual motivations. On the contrary, rather, so many rulers and leaders and emperors were known for their tyranny, their arrogance, or otherwise being intoxicated by their power and their delusions of grandeur. But the Prophet Muhammad was unique. There was something different about him. Consider the enigma of a man who was himself illiterate, peace and blessings be upon him, who was born among the warring, feudal, backward tribes of Arabia that were totally isolated from the philosophies and the arts and the warfare and the education of the major civilizations around them that were developed so much further than these primitive tribes in Arabia. And yet this same man steps forward, seemingly overnight, and transforms the face of that entire region, and soon far more beyond that, with a call whose profundity and its reach and its permanence remain peerless until today. This is what drove John William Draper, for instance, the English-American historian, to say, just look at the map. The map of what Islam did upon the advent of Muhammad for centuries onwards shows the marks of something other than an impostor, he says. He says to be the ruler of so many empires, meaning even after his death, and to have your example dictate the lives of 1/3 of the human race, he says, just might qualify to get a person called the messenger of God. And Alphonso de Lamartine, the French historian, he says, consider how you measure greatness. If the smallness of resources and the greatness of accomplishments are the two factors you consider, then can any man ever be claimed to be greater than Muhammad? He says, as regards to all the standards actually by which greatness is measured, we may well just ask, is there any man, has there ever been any man greater than him? May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him.